The city of Appleton is partnering with local organizations to connect community members with resources to help them recover from July flooding. This comes after the city was denied recovery assistance from government entities. New at 6, Jamal James has more details about this new initiative.
United Way 211 is providing financial planning and mental health resources, while Rebuilding Together Fox Valley is providing damage support resources for those impacted by the floods.
Then all resources are super good. I'm so happy then. I mean, I'm from another country and it's hard to find those resources.
Cecilia Barnell is one of many who experienced flooding in her area. While the damages could have been worse, she believes this new list of resources, a one-stop shop online, can make a difference for someone. Appleton's mayor says the city tried to get flood victims financial help through the county, state, and federal government, but the damages didn't meet the criteria to qualify.
In order to qualify for that kind of resource from the state, we would have had to incur a loss as a municipal government of $347,000.
But government officials work to do something, and that's where community partners come in. Rebuilding Together Fox Valley provides services to restore homes, like a water heater or a furnace, at no cost, so long as you meet the 80% median household income requirement.
What we can do is go in and complete a home assessment, determine what additional repairs and modifications need to be made, and work with our existing funding partners that are not aligned with this coalition, but be able to bring people back to that safe and healthy standard.
While some in the community believe the city is already doing what they can, it can't replace the memories lost.
Sometimes when the water goes in the basement, you have to replace everything. Everything. I have a family member that happened last year and she has to buy everything. Whatever she has in the basement, she has to redo everything.
For a link to the list of resources, visit WBAY.com. In Appleton, Jamal James, Action 2 News.